My dear students, this is Mubin Sultan, Department of Botany, Veerashaiva College, Ballari. So today we are going to discuss about the polytrichum. So here we all know that the polytrichum is a bryophyte. So before going to start the topic, let us see what is the systematic position of this polytrichum. So here the polytrichum is placed under the kingdom Plantae, division Bryophyta, class Polytrichopsida, order Polytrichales, family Polytrichaceae, and the genus Polytrichum. So next we will study about the general characteristics of this polytrichum. So before going to start the general characteristics, first of all we have to know what is the habit or what is the occurrence of this polytrichum. So here the polytrichum is commonly found in sunny areas with little to no shade and can withstand to the exposure to the sunlight and in the area with a moist soil. So here these are also can be considered as a cosmopolitan in distribution. So next we will move to the general characteristics. The main plant body of this polytrichum is gametophytic in nature. The adult plant consists of mainly two parts. Here in this diagram you can see that the plant body is differentiated into two parts. The first lower underground part which is called as the rhizome and the uppermost aerial part which is called as the leafy shoot system. First we will study what is this rhizome. So here it is an horizontal portion and grows underground. So it is a horizontal portion. It means that it always grows below the soil level and it contains 3 rows of small brown or colorless leaves and it is also contain a rhizoids. So these rhizoids they look similar to the roots but they are not roots, they just look similar to the roots. Then the next part is the aerial part which is a leafy shoot system. The leafy shoots are much longer and it is the most conspicuous part of the plant. So it arises from the rhizome. So always the leafy shoot system directly it arises from the rhizome. These branches consist of the central axis. These branches bears a large leaves arranged in a spiral condition. So when we see a single leaf, this single leaf shows a broad base. The upper side of the leaf is green in color whereas the lower portion is brown in color. So next we'll move to the gametophytic phase. So as before I said that the polytrichum shows the gametophytic condition. So here this polytrichum is an acrocarpous moss and it is quite larger. The leaves are strongly divergent when humid and curved in a dry condition. So next, after studying the gametophytic stage, let us study about the leaf anatomy. We'll move to the leaf anatomy or anatomy of leaf. So here in the anatomical characteristic of leaf, the midrib region is a thick but the margins are only 1 cell thick. And next to the midrib we find the presence of lower surface which is bounded by the epidermis, and the central tissue of the leaf is composed with a thin walled parenchymatous tissue. Then next to this central layer there is a presence of upper surface which is formed of a layer of large cells which arises a numerous lamellae. So this portion of the leaf is mainly meant for the photosynthesis. Hence this portion is meant for the photosynthetic region. Then next we'll move to the stem anatomy. So here the stem anatomy mainly shows the 3 regions which is medulla, cortex and epidermis as we can see in the diagram. The medulla region differentiated into central zone and the peripheral zone. And the cortex consists of thick walled cells. The innermost layer of the cortex around the conducting strand is known as a mantle. Its cells usually contains starch grains. And then the last layer is the epidermis which is present over the cortex. So after studying the anatomical character, let us move towards the reproduction. So in Polytrichum, we find two types of reproduction, which is vegetative reproduction as well as the sexual reproduction. So first we'll study about the vegetative reproduction. This vegetative reproduction can also be called it as a asexual reproduction. I hope you people know what is asexual reproduction. So here asexual reproduction is nothing but the reproduction or the production of new plants will takes place without the union of the gametes. It means that here in the vegetative reproduction we don't see the union of male and female reproductive parts. So here in vegetative reproduction, especially in Polytrichum, it will undergo three types of vegetative reproduction. The first one is a protonyma, formation of protonyma. So the spores germinate to form the protonyma. So here in the Polytrichum, the spores will germinate and it will leads to the formation of a protonyma. The next type is a budding. So here the buds grow from the protonyma and they are called as a vegetative buds. Buds are nothing but somewhat tuber-like structures. So here in Polytrichum, directly from the protonyma, it means that directly from the rhizome region, the buds will be arised. And the last type of vegetative reproduction is the fragmentation. Fragmentation, the name itself indicates that fragment, it means cutting, breaking. So here, due to the death and separation of portion of the shoot result into the formation of independent plants. So this is called the vegetative reproduction. Next we will move to the sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction is nothing but the union of male and female reproductive structure result into the formation of zygote. That is a natural process. Okay, so here in Polytrichum also we will come across the sexual reproduction which occurs by the formation of male and female reproductive structure which are called as antheridia and archegonia respectively. So here the Polytrichum is dioecious. It means that the antheridia and archegonia occur on the different plants. So we know that there are other bryophytic plants like Anthoceras, Marchantia. So there also we will see the condition of dioecious and monoecious. Okay, so monoecious is nothing but within the same plant the presence of male and female reproductive structures can be seen. But here in Polytrichum we will find only the dioecious plants. It means that the different plants contains the different reproductive structure. So let us first study the structure of male reproductive structure which is called as antheridia. So here you can see in this diagram the antheridia are born in a axillary cluster at the tips of leaf stems. So always the antheridia will be formed in a cluster manner. So they are surrounded by a rosette of leaves called as perigonial leaves. You can observe this characteristic in this diagram. When we observe and mature antheridium, it looks like a club-shaped structure. So if we observe a single mature antheridia, it shows a club-shaped structure. It is composed of a short stalk and a club-shaped body. That body is covered with a jacket. It is present around the capsule. So inside the jacket are present androcyte mother cells. This androcyte mother cell gives rise to a biflagellated sperms. So here sperms are the male reproductive organ. So sperms are nothing but the male organs. Okay. So next we'll move to the structure of archegonia. So here this archegonia is a female reproductive structure. So as I said, the plant is dioecious. So within the same plant the male and female reproductive structure will never born. They will be arised from the different plant. So here the archegonia is a flask shaped structure born at the apex of the leaf stems. Leaf stems are nothing but the gametophytic phase. Okay, then the archegonium is surrounded by peripheral leaves as you can see in this picture. So these leaves overlap to form a closed bud-like structure. The archegonia occur in cluster of 3 to 6. The mature archegonium is a flask shaped with thick multicellular stalk, and the neck is long and twisted and contains a neck canal cells. The neck consists of 6 vertical rows of cells, and the neck gradually merges into a next part which is called as venter. So the venter contains upper small venter canal cell and the lower large egg cell. So here in this diagram you can see that a mature archegonium which consists of 3 parts: the venter, neck, and the venter and the neck. So next we will move to the ultimate process which is called as a fertilization process. So here, as we all know, the general fertilization process, which is nothing but the fusion of male and female reproductive structure. So here in the polytrichum also, the sex organs dehisces in the presence of water. It means that the fertilization process always occurs only in the presence of the water. So here the venter canal cell and the neck canal cell dissolve to form a mucilaginous substance. So this mucilage exerts some pressure and neck get opens out. So from the mucilage it come out from the neck. The sperms reaches the archegonial head by the rain water. The sperm attracts towards the archegonia, and one of the sperm swims and fuses with the egg to forms the oospore. So here the oospore is the first stage of sporophytic generation. So after the formation of oospore, we will find the alternation of generation from the gametophytic stage to the sporophytic stage. So next let us study about the sporophyte. Here, as we know that the polytrichum shows the alternation of generation. It means that within the same plant body we will find the gametophytic stage as well as the sporophytic stage. Let me tell you people that the gametophytic stage always it will be starting from the n number of chromosome. Okay, it means that they are always haploid number of chromosome, but whereas in the sporophytic generation, the sporophytic generation always starts with the 2n number of chromosome. It means that the oospore which is formed by the fertilization will be diploid in condition. That diploid oospore will the first stage for the sporophytic generation. So let us study what is this sporophytic generation. So here in the sporophytic generation we will find the formation of a sporangia. Okay, the formation of sporangia will take place in the sporophytic condition. Let us see what is this sporophytic generation. So we have to study the mature sporophyte. So here, as in the diagram, you can see that a mature sporangium is differentiated into different parts. So the mature sporophyte or mature sporangium is differentiated into 3 major parts. Those are foot. The first part is a foot. Foot is a very deep into the tissue of gametophyte, and it is absorptive in function. So the foot is the first and foremost part of the sporophyte, which is always attached to the gametophytic structure, and its function is absorptive. It means that it helps in the absorption process. And the next layer or a next next part is a seta. So it is several in cell long. It is several in cells long. It carries the capsule high into the air. It carries the capsule high into the air. It also conduct water and food. So it acts as a conducting tissue. So next part is a capsule. The upper part of capsule, it is differentiated into 3 regions. Again, the capsule is differentiated into 3 regions, which are the lower part of the capsule is called as apophysis, and the middle part of the capsule is called as theca, and the upper part of the capsule is called as operculum, as shown in this diagram. So after the maturation of the sporophyte, it releases a numerous number of yellow colored uninucleated spores. So the sporophytic stage starts from the diploid condition, and later during the development it will releases the meiospores, which are usually n in number. It means that they are haploid in nature. So these spores get disposed by wind. So after dehiscence of the sporangia, it means that after the maturation of the sporangia, it will liberate the spores with the help of the wind and fall on the suitable substratum and undergo germination and result in the production of a vegetative part which is nothing but the protonema. So as already I have explained in the vegetative reproduction, protonema always it germinates from the spores. So those spores are liberated from the sporophyte. Okay, so you can see the interlink between the gametophyte as well as the sporophyte. Hence this is called as the alternation of generation. So next we will study what is this alternation of generation. So as in the beginning I told you people that the polytrichum shows a gametophytic plant body. Okay, so the polytrichum, as I said, it is a gametophytic plant body. Gametophytic plant body is nothing but having both male and female reproductive structure, which are nothing but the antheridia as well as the archegonia. So here what happens during the reproduction process, so with the help of this male and female reproductive structure, the fusion of the gametes will take place, which is nothing but the sperm will fuse with the ovum of the archegonia, which will result into a diploid cell, which is nothing but the oospore. Okay, so the oospore will be always diploid in nature. That oospore is a first stage for the next generation, which is called as a sporophytic generation. So here, after the formation of oospore, which is diploid in condition, I repeatedly stress this point that oospore is a diploid in nature. So this oospore directly it will undergo the germination process. So oospore, when it will fall on the substratum, when it will get the adequate amount of nutrients, it means that suitable condition, then it will undergo the germination process. That germination process result into the vegetative reproduction, that is nothing but the formation of protonema. From that protonema, a new plant body can be arised. So this process is nothing but the alternation of generation. It means that the gametophytic phase is always which gives rise to the first stage for the sporophytic generation. So I repeatedly tell you people that the gametophytic stage always starts with the n number of chromosomes. It means that haploid number of chromosomes. Thank you.